is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. We are here to begin this wonderful stream, starting Endwalker. And to start off every expansion like we have, we are going to do this. You can ask anybody. Square Enix goes hard with their cinematics, and this one is no different. Introducing the Paladin. Introducing new job number 1. Notice too, this opening theme is using multiple theme songs in it. So this is Stormblood. When Justinian was there, it was Heaven's Word. And there's Fortuno. And the second new job. Endwalker. And of course, the title screen. But that is Endwalker, guys. So let's get it started. Let's get into it. We're gonna literally pick up right where we left off. Logging in right where we were when we finished Shadowbringers last stream. So the goal is ultimately to what's the word I'm looking for? The goal is ultimately to be able to get to Dawn Trail's beginning prior to Dawn Trail's launch, which is June 28th for early access. That's the hope. That's the hope, is to be able to do that. I also was kind of hoping to see if we'd hit 90 before we even started Endwalker, but we got to almost 86, which is still good, which is still pretty good. So yeah, but let's get it going, guys. Without further ado, hello, welcome back to the PK, and let's get it on. The next ship to sail, Horse Chestnut Weapon Coffer. So I don't know if you were able to see it, but it said it was a 515 weapon. I have 530, so we're gonna be in the same boat, pretty much a lot of the same boat as we were with previous. I mean, look at all this nonsense we have in here. A lot of this stuff needs to just be tossed. Vortex weapon, Crag weapon. One of these probably says Ifrit weapon. But the highest, let's see, what's the highest one I have? I just saw 370 is what I just saw. What did I say I had? 530, okay. So yeah, it has to be above 530. I'm not going to find one of those right now. Yeah, 385 is going to be the highest. Yeah. So, I'm going to end up going through at some point and just chucking all of that. Because, like, I mean, 382, 376. Theoretically, I could give all of it to the Sage. Oh, no, he's got 385 gear. Never mind. So I guess I can't even give it to him, huh? What about Reaper? What's Reaper looking like? Really same, huh? 385. 380s. Yeah, and you can't, like, open it to see what it's going to give you. We're not going to worry about it there. Alright. Let's get it. Big Thunder, do you have some time to talk? I do not. We are in a hurry. I would like to gather everyone at Dawn's Respite and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. I was hoping it'd be, what's it called, but it's not. Let us take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of the ominous towers in multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Telophoroi. The Telophoroi's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs been the cause of untold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summonings. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered at least. But after what happened to Arnvald and Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how to proceed. Yet, while these threats while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. As you know, the Telophoroi are under the leadership of Fandaniel and one other delightful fellow, Xenos Yegalbus, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varys, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed and in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. 'Twas an eerie fog of silence which did blanket the ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered, and with nary a word spoken did they labor to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events, too, were orchestrated by the Telophoroi. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way in Charlene, I am sure of it. Master Fortuno's comments regarding the final days were curious, to say the least. The Forum knows more than they're letting on. Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from Mrs. Cryle. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. You're to head to Limsa Lominsa and board the next ship bound for Charlene. And on arrival, present yourselves to the associates at the Students of Baldessian. Come to assist with the Order's restoration. The arrangements may be settled, but what of your thoughts? They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. I'm eager to see it, of course. Of course, we should set off at once. Everyone here except me and Estinian, and maybe Tataru, is from Charlene, so they're all about to go home, pretty much. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. Even Grahatia is from Charlene, technically. He's actually an Archon, that's why he's got the tattoos. Lore purposes, lore purposes. Oh, we're going to Limsa Lominsa, Limsa Lominsa. Squom. So many people as always. Excuse me. We are going where? Right there. To the Arcanist Guild. Everyone's here, which is good, because I've already paid for your passage and the fee is non-refundable. The ship for Charlene should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and you'll have your luggage close at hand.
Finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule. So I'm told.
Excellent. It is nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's winds are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
He was trying to rob him. That's how he met him.
Will this be your first visit to Charlian, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind. Little without finale.
Is it your point, Estinian?
You've made your point. You've made your point.
Better.
Are you alright, Tatara? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just, we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
I'll bring them back safe and sound, I promise.
I'll hold you to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Hori! Coulternay! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye, we your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch. Set the sail! All aboard for Charlian!
It's time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
It's alright, we'll fight Leviathan on the way. You know, lunar Leviathan. We won't tell you about it, though.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown.
Xenos' voice?
A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux.
Sounds like it.
In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. treasure every moment, every step of your descent. And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
If it's not Xenos, it's gonna be Emmett Soak. It's gotta be one of the two.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser. Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt. Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Charlian should be coming into view at any moment.
It's funny because that's how we met the twins. They were asleep on the carriage ride. If y'all remember ages and ages ago.
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think. And thus do we meet face to face at last, my warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
I can trust your words no longer.
After you sojourn in the first, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Heidelin has always been, a primal. Zodiac was
She disappears, and I just have like this dumbfounded look on my face.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Charlia.
Oh, I see it.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Indeed, 'tis as Celestinian said. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side. Everything.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Charlian proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
Charlia, the solitary island nation of the northern sea.
Let's end it, so.
Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
The Northern Empty. Ode Charlian.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Charlian all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Charlian only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders, especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry. immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Charlian's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration. Brahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we? Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Brahat here of the students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
Ishtola rule. We don't get to hear their last names. Psh. Some bullshit.
See how it glows? That list is etherically linked with a citizen registry kept in the main repository.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
See, couldn't they just teleport themselves? Like, me and Estinian and anybody else who hasn't been here before would be the only ones that needed to not teleport. So they could have all just teleported here instead of spending money on a ship voyage.
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alize Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny. And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny him entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
We shall keep that in mind. These last two are not Charlian natives, but you will find their credentials are renewed. An application was made in advance.
Name and occupation?
PK Thunderthighs, adventurer by trade. PK Thunderthighs, artisan. PK Thunderthighs, champion of Eorzea. I'm just gonna say adventurer.
An adventurer. Well, I suppose that is considered a valid calling in your native Eorzea, and it does indeed match the profile provided. You may enter. And you, sir?
Estinian Varlin, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgar.
Estidian Varlino.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
I cried just in time. She came a-running.
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Valdez, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Croyle, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you will seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh! Welcome, friends, to Charlian.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Well, before we start the next mission, most of this we're gonna run around and do either way, but I want to just kind of get it done and out the way so that we don't have to worry about doing it mid-mission or anything. We're gonna do all of this. So Charlian is gonna be one of the main city hubs in Endwalker. A lot of people come here to do their crafting and stuff because it is right next to a market board. Let's go this way first. I need a class with freaking Peloton, man. I mean, yeah, I have my ninja, but my ninja, it can run faster, but I don't think it's hit that level yet, where it gets the movement speed. She's got the ninja blades too. That way we don't have to run quite so far back. Okay, so we got this one, this one, this one. We just need these three, so I'll probably just take it in like a C rotation, a backward C. Kid, you're gonna fall off. This is right here is like the housing area. It's called Journey's End, but it's like where everybody lives. Charlian has everything like sectioned off. Levayor estate. That's where the Levayors live. They rich. That should be the last Aether, right? You've attuned yourself to all the Aethernet shards in Sharlayan. Alright, now we go back to Scholar's Harbor. And before we start this, we're going to take a quick break to bio my doggies and me. So be our two to bees, guys. Back to save Eorzea and Sharlayan both. Here we go. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is PK Thunder's and Estinian's first time in Sharlayan, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I suppose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levayor estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. Demi. I am equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetherite Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. Ranger's like, I don't know what to do. I too have places I would be remiss in not visiting forthwith. By thy leave. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. But I could... Ugh. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Of course, if you will have me. PK Thunder, Sharlayan awaits. Speak with Graha. After you, my friend, I am more than content to follow thy lead. Grahatia is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. In the event that you use Aethernet, Grahatia will catch up to you so long as you remain in the same area. You can leave Grahatia behind, however, by entering a different area. You may also speak to him to select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Grahatia accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While Grahatia is accompanying you, next try speaking with Cryle. All set, then let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the Last Stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Cryle is also accompanying you. Lead the two companions to the Last Stand and speak with Cryle in the designated location. While you are accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way which offer additional topics of discussion. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. Essentially, it's for more lore purposes. So, like, I can literally come right over here. There's one right here. and just be like, "What's up, everybody?" Whoop, whoop, and then talk to them. Discuss the storage facility. With all the unusual wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an intrepid adventurer would be highly appreciated. I see no reason why you couldn't undertake any task which pique your interest. You have been cleared by the immigration officials, after all. I look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Charlian the same way it is in Eorzea. This place is called the Peristyle, Peristyle, I think, and it is the first stop for cargo unloaded at the docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other imports vital to running an island nation, but also supplies that further Charlian's pursuit of knowledge, namely large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stacks certainly seems to keep the attendants busy. So that's what this area is for. So that's what those conversation points are for. Just gives you a little bit more lore on the area. You'll see there's another one coming up. I'm not sure that we'll do all of these every time because there's a lot of these throughout the MSQ, but we'll see. Now that is a sight one could hardly forget, the great statue of Thaliak. As a student of Baldessian, I was usually quartered on the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. This path leading out towards the sea is known as the Thaliak Stoa, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at its end. As you know, the Charlian people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thaliak was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism than belief, in alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not restrictive as that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Charlians can and do worship the divinities of their choosing. And look, the sun is coming up. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Charlian tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. How can I put this? This food is, it's bland. And encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste a distant second. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Charlian, the one and only bastion of culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself, because you were a typical Charlian when it came to cheap and convenient, Raha. But surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We shall all stop in when the time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. I do want to take some time to build a decent glam for myself. Because right now I'm not wearing any type of glam. I'm just wearing the gear that's here. So at some point I do want to come in and build a really good glam. I don't know what it's going to be. This is Magitech stuff. But, I mean... it just depends. It's going to be one of those things that I just have to kind of take the time to spend on it, on what I would like to see. But yeah, it'll just depend. Because I haven't really dabbled with what really looks good on a Hrothgar. So it's going to come down to like just taking the time to dabble with it a little bit. But we'll see. An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that this is a perfectly functioning aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself to it before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located in this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason that Charlene stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of Allig and aetherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to Agora, Charlene's largest marketplace. Discuss the Confluence. Speaking of aetherites, those teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tended to rely on the far cheaper ferry services. I was pleasantly surprised when Mr. Sataru informed me that the Scions are reimbursed for transportation costs as part of our duties, but I find old habits that are hard to break. That, and I'd rather not be bothered filling out the necessary paperwork. Who was that I just talked to? Oh, yeah, I talked to Grau. That's the entrance to the Confluence. I have no doubt their expertise will prove useful at some point, so I suggest you remember the way here. Right there. This be the marketplace. And market board. What are you wearing? The hell? Combustion jacket of Rising Dragon. I mean, not gonna lie, that looks kind of nice. Hold on, let's try it on. Let's save. The outfit. I can't wear the helmet though, can I? Of course not. It can be worn by monks too, so that's why I was kind of wondering about it. Let's go die preview. Oops. Why didn't that save? Die preview. There we go. Because I didn't hit apply, that's why. It doesn't look, like, horrible. Shows off my muscles. Let's see. Essentially, a lot of the glam type stuff that I'm going to end up wanting is going to be like down in here, all the level 1 type stuff. Custom income. Downside is with hats is I can't wear hardly any of them. Invitation Mist Beard Mask. I can wear that. There's a lot of stuff in here that I could go through and try to figure out if I could wear, and I could wear the little top hat. Island Leaf Headdress. Can I wear the Noir hat? Oh, that would be cool though. I can't wear the Noir hat, I'm not gonna wear that. Of course I can wear that. Oh, what? That looked dope, though. That's the downside to Hrothgar's. I'm not going to be able to wear hardly any hats. So, let's come into here. Replica Sky Pirate's Jacket of Striking. Sky Rat Harness of Striking. casual jacket. Cape of Happiness. Huh. Varsity jacket? It's literally like a Letterman jacket. Noir long coat. Lawless Enforcer's jacket. The hard part is literally just finding something that would look good on a Hrothgar. Like, don't get me wrong, this kind of looks good too. But I don't know if that's something I'd want to wear. These are all dream tunics. That's it. That's the end of the list. I mean, yeah, it's gonna come down to just like playing with it for a while and spending a lot of time figuring it out on what I would want to wear. But extreme survival shirt. Survival shirt. New World jacket. I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna do a lot of this later on. I'm not gonna do all of this right now. I was just kind of taking a brief sec to look at some of it, but it's gonna be a lot because you gotta literally figure out. So the hempen camis and then the hempen undershirt. That's what it looks like on the Hrothgars. This is one of the few things that changes the way it looks based on your race. But hempen tunic, Hrothgar harness. Yeah, and then we're back up into everything else. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But we're not going to spend any more time on it right now. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems I have yet to read. Only a moment? How optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. Perhaps I'll return later then. These little open-air bookstalls are so uniquely Charlian. I'd always thought them a common sight until I visited other nations. Welcome to Agora, where you can find wares made in Charlian as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? Well, on a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetheryte Plaza and then follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to the imposing building at the very top. These little decorative features are typical of Charlian architecture. Aside from the research ring, our headquarters on the Isle of Val were rather simple and rustic by comparison. This is the Nympharium, Nymphaeum, an area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Charlians, water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of a great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol of knowledge which flows from Thaliak's divine ewer. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city and a propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. The grand structure before you is the rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, one which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Though the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Charlian. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, and the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the counselors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. We arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those put ashore with Archon Niumcrift, I don't know how to say that, built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for most important officials and the oldest Charlian families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Levayor. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Charlian tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. Head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path below to the Aetherite Plaza. Correct, after you, PK Thunder. I am just going to use the Aetherite. Never mind. I'm going to run. What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh, Baba? What you doing? I wasn't talking to all of you. I was asking Alistair what he's doing. Okay, go lay down. Right, we crossed this bridge here, as I recall. Stick to the path and be careful not to end up back in the Aetherite Plaza. Charlian is full of educational research institutions, but there are still professors who prefer to establish their own private practices. Not that I ever attended the exclusive schools they run in these residences. Perhaps the twins could tell you more about them. Yeah, we're gonna go to the Aetherite Plaza and then just teleport, because it's faster. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive at the doorstep of the phenomenon, but I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you, then. So much. I'm back, and I brought PK Thunder and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, PK Thunder. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Ojika, Sunjika. It's been an age. Allow me to introduce Ojika Sunjika, Administration Officer of the Students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. The champion of Eorzea has featured prominently on Kryl and Garaha's reports so far. So for me, this is akin to seeing a fabled hero come to life. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Charlian, whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations, and yet it feels so empty with so many lost to us. Our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. Whatever happened to the Isle? Did they ever, explain it? But first, we must ensure that the Telophori fall. Though that door on the left there is the main hall where we can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. I've had a private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed, far more than some cheap roadside inn. You may be assured. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron just to steal a few winks, and thus they became known as amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word, and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Actually, looks really nice for that bunny. And then they got the wings on. That's not bad at all. I like it. Nah. And what of you? Erranty logged out and Lala Felonies has logged in. Potentially he'll be in the Discord before long. Feeling refreshed and alert, our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Moriarty. We're all here now. Let's get down to business then, shall we?
Let me chill out.
Come what may, we must prevent the Telophori's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change Charlian, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Charlian focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. It was as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, it simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly mean?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. How? As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldesia. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Charlian colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavner. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the satrap of Rads at Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. It is possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavner would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Charlian is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnerian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
Got me putting in the work right when I land. Damn.
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Charlian. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Demi, what are you doing? Lay down, baby. I don't know what you're doing, but just lay down.
Alice and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction
rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objection?
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Uriaji.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nidana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much everywhere, to be honest, though. '86, whoop whoop. Flint strike mastery. And Shadow logged in too. Look at that. We'll start here, I guess. An unsettling change has come over Charlene, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge, which is why I began scouring Charlene's archive for historical records of any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. I'm going to just accept both quests, just to not have to worry about it. I have Krau's instructions in hand. If you are ready to set out, then so are we. Having been to Thavner before, I can travel there by Aetherite. But what of the rest of you? Another sea voyage would waste time we do not have. Krau was of the same mind, and have already secured the aid of the good folk of the Confluence. We'll take ourselves there. The Confluence, thou sayest? I'm afraid so, my friend. Thou wilt recall the hunt for Iceheart, unto whose sanctuary we delivered thee owing to the knowledge of our common Modbrida. Monbrida. Monbrida was an authority on aetherology, a field of study she did embark upon in pursuit of her parents' example. Both are authorities in their own right, and both are researchers at the Confluence. Haven't you gone to see them yet? I attempted to do so earlier, but to my shame, my courage failed me at the last, as it hath the many times I thought to reach out to them after sending that fateful letter. Neither time nor introspection have revealed unto me the words I should speak, and thus I have kept my silence. Whether you come with us or no is your choice and yours alone. If it is too difficult, we will manage. Thou art kind to say so, but I have no intention of forsaking our cause. I shall go to the Confluence, and I shall face that which hath long been overdue. If it is settled, then let us be off. When we arrive, we should look for a researcher named Kite? I don't know. Obviously, as you can also see, buku side quests start popping up, right? Only ones you really ever have to worry about are ones like this. This Leaf Quest of Old Charlene. Problem is, Leaf Quests are after Ishgard? Yeah, Ishgard was the last time Leaf Quests were for battling, and they became strictly crafting from that point on. There has been talks of bringing it back, though, for battling, but I highly doubt they're going to do that because there's so many other things that you can do to get battle XP, so it's just one of those things that is unlikely to happen. But, nevertheless, we are off to save the wizard. I don't know what was we were talking about. The Mandivilus Wings. He's got them glammed. Those are okay, I guess. My problem literally is finding a good glam for Hrothgar's. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, stand now before the doors of Numenion, Charlene's grandest collection of books and tomes. The building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Numenion extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Charlene is free to enter and peruse the shelves, well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Yustola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphanal will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the public. Your status prevents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Charlene history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they found some promising tomes. Happy reading. Brightly colored book. Spine reads the story of Charlene. Read the book. Long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogan man by the name of Nincrift. I don't know. He was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for the imperial realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that his crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, he wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Albatha's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, he gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Charlene we live in to this day. Colony. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliac and the Dravanian hinterlands, a Charlene colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th astral era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion into structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Charlenes. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Charlene colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Charlean, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, the Charlian inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as the Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it another name, Idleshire. Following chapters go on to introduce more prominent features of Idleshire. The book does not appear to contain additional information on the forum or cover any history of Charlian Motherland in greater detail. So not the book we were looking for. Alright, we'll cross over here and grab this one. Stewards of Wisdom. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon, founder of Charlian, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising the settlement on an island in the northern empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Charlians took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon the foundation of accumulated learning, they built homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth and coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Charlian would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would enshrue the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. A couple books left. Well-worn manual. Forever 20 Summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I, too, once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19, you could be 23, or 40. Whatever age you are, when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, you will extend your time available to spend upon your chosen research, another day, another moon, another summer, to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, aetherological, and arcane viewpoint. So not what we're looking for. Leather-bound tome or blue-covered book. An introduction to the heavens. This probably isn't it either. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of the shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, our scholars' depiction of the boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our Earth's existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in the field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, and their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Not the book we are looking for. Which means it is this one. Leather-bound tome. The Voice of a Growing City. Let me take a drink real quick, because it's, whew. In the years which followed the founding of Charlian, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in the attempt to curtail practical discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Charlian should transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus, the forum, as we know it today, conceived and created. You've gained a fundamental understanding. Good. Good. We can go outside and rest. That seemed like it took forever. Oh. Sorry, were you waiting long? Nah, I just got here, girl. I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphanote and Crowd should also be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangibly relevant tomes, if they're even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate, plenty of comfortable places to read, and ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was quite fond of reading. I was always quite fond of reading outside, but it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alpha and I were to return to Charlotte, we were not allowed to cross the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Charlene, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsabard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavner. Demi, what are you doing? The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land by ship, brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikode to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in the Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as in the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Aminos. I wonder if we ever go there. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allagan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends in the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Charlian citizen. I never even considered, forgive me, It was an unkind question. Even Dangrid was taken in by the Archon Louis, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, wow, we outsiders can even earn the vaulted title of Archon. It is exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, PK Thunder. More companies should be arriving any moment now. It's a lot of reading, guys. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say, the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mr. Crowell has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarat firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. I'm here for you, girl. I got you. I got you. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? A complete destabilization of creation magics, primals of unrivaled power were summoned from the Aether, the worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. Destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc upon all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Yustola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was engulfed in a disaster all at once. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. The entire star was engulfed in a disaster all at once. I think you may be misremembering. As I recall, it was more of a gradual spread. The Amoritan spoke of a keening sound that rose from the land itself just before the region was visited by a catastrophe. We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. So the ground was crying out, you say. To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with Numenon's Mammoths and ask after any books which may mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiac. Yes, with Elidibus serving as its heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that his godlike will were the laws of nature set right. Then once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render into Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. or might have, had Vanat and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Heidelin. Hey, leave him be. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs, is forcing people to summon primals. A kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by the unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return to our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Yustola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Oh no, the company actions wore off. Okay, so right now we are doing the quest, hitting the books. Oh, so many quests. I'm the last one, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stack produced one or two possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned of the source's reflections from the Gerun oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet, when you confronted Master Fortunal with the knowledge of the Telophoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. I'm like, no, I wasn't going anywhere, I swear. Demi, leave him be. You labor for what feels like an age as Yustola's research assistant. Nope, I didn't mean to talk to her. Cryo. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. A seat at the last stand. Oh, my lordy. We got quite a few quests before the first dungeon. Ready for a tea break, PK Thunder? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. I guess I could have backtracked over here, then teleported down here. Whatever. We're literally going right there, so it's just going to have to be what it is. Busy as ever, I see. How very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete with customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't you ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Talafaroi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alize is now accompanying you. What is it? I may not enjoy a moment of private respite. If you are looking to share a table, then I respectfully request you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you know of the Talafaroi, these enemies enemies of peace have promised to end all we hold dear. And wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I've heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving the truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I have naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, pt40. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Talafaroi and their considerable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levieur, my apologies, but I work for the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fauchenal that I was helping you, I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Inn. I used to frequent this cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphinaud had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levieur. No matter how discreet Master Fauchenal may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Charlian has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about the apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find, information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn, unfortunately. Your patrons appeared to be unwilling to speak to me. I wish there were more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? I guess I'm a waiter. Savior of worlds, waiter of tables. It's fine. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered an oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask, and I'll explain again. Good luck. Alright, the tea set goes to a group of chatty people by the water's edge. So this one. Tea set. Ah, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Talafa who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them. Or their final days. My friend and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the 6th astral area, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Gisla. They get the omelet. Ah, finally, 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. What? The Talafaroi? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best to stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Cafe table. Obviously, urbane banter with a smile. The oven-baked lobster. Ah, at last. The oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've skimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of sort. They travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlian. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for the folk who trail after the reapers. Hey, it's Lala! I see him! Reapers in the field picking up every grain in which was missed. All account, gleaning is the most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Solafroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncovered rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads from the docks all day. I've never been this hectic before, not like this. Chase after the little man! Oh shit, he moved. Hold on. Little man! Hold on. No, not examine, son of a bitch. Emote. Emote. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Yes. But, that is a good sir for those who remember. Hey, Jackpot's been activated. And so has reduced rates. As y'all remember, he is on this voyage with us as we travel through Endwalker. He's actually catching up pretty quick to where we're at, which is good. The problem is, the thing is he'll be at the dungeon before we are because we're taking our time, going through the cutscenes, all that stuff. So he's kind of just rushing through. He's already caught up to us, and it took us 2 hours to get to this point. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Explains the situation. But he'll catch up to us before long. He'll catch up to us before long, and then we'll catch up to him before long, hopefully. Interesting, they seem unaware of the final days aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it to the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, the cup of coffee I promised. Stop it. Damn it. But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossip and their wagging tongues. Yes, this should do nicely. Stop it. Leave him be. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Charlian? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy. To keep us at arm's length, perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Charlian is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait, didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the forum is planning.
We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Numenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Deacon will want his cups back. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the good sir past us already. Hold on. Where is he? Welcome back, Pegathener. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. It makes sense that Gleaners take the request directly from the institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, ultimately the answer to the forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo is certainly gives the impression of an overreaching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Yustola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information containing the final days. Coupled with that, what PK Thunder and Alize learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that the Charlians know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the forum claims to be so occupied by the duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. A fine idea. I'm glad you approve. You won't be disappointed, I promise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I would like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that they are returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alize and do not fall behind. Well, she needs to move faster then. Let's go. Alize sets off for a brisk walk. Off we go then.
And it is a walk.
Oh god, he's here! Guza! How goes it?
I literally just targeted her. Clicked lock target with left stick. And then just auto-followed her using my left one bumper.
Oh, like
so
this?
Yeah, you just keep starting, stopping, but it keeps you from having to, like, actually just, like, stay behind her the whole time.
Gotcha. Now we run. Try to keep up.
Yeah. And then she'll just run, and then your character will just follow automatically. Everything's fine.
Good. Keep to the path straight ahead. Yeah, so I don't know if you're able to see it, but we played through the opening cinematic for Endwalker, and then from like the main menu, showed off the menu thing. Right, I mean, we can do that with each expansion, so we'll do that with Dawn Trail too once we get there. Up here.
Yeah. I was just saying, I mean, for us, it's nothing. It's been a while since I've seen a lot of the other ones.
Right. That's why. That's part of the reason why I did it with each one, was just kind of like, you know, give us that little bit of a, like, hey, look, it's been a minute.
But I mean, but for like Dawn Trail, or for not Dawn Trail, Elmwalker, if I don't select the character fast enough, it just launches me right into it.
Right.
That's the expansion. So like I see it quite frequently. Oh god, I forgot things want to attack me out here.
We're back to that point.
Yeah.
We're also back to the point where we have to find Aether Currents. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving.
I attuned to the shard when I had to walk all over the frickin' Rahatia.
I didn't even think about doing it with Rahatia. Because I didn't realize that they were gonna do that with us. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just right when we got off the boat, I just started walking around immediately. I was like, I'm just gonna do that now, get it out of the way. Speaking of, before we go that way, it's a good thing I already have this. I gotta go grab a quest right quick. All it does is unlocks my sightseeing log for Endwalker. I just like having the sightseeing log thing. If I come across it, I just pop it open. It takes half a second to claim one. It's just an emote, so. But the problem is I should have grabbed it when we were over here earlier, because it's all the way out here by the boat that we came in on.
Bummer.
Yeah. A little bit of a downside.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought I was like, Jesus. And so then I'm walking around, and I'm trying to, like, do the talk to things, and every time you have to talk to anybody, you always talk to Kryle. So I'm like, to advance the quest, so I'm like, what is the point of Grahatia being with us? I targeted him several times, and I was like, I swear to God, Grahatia.
It's because he gives the lore stuff when you go to the other talking points, so that's kind of why he was there. Which I went through all of those for the Sharlayan stuff just to get all the lore of Sharlayan out of the way for those who wanted to see it and know more about Sharlayan. They now have it. They don't have to do it themselves if they don't want to. But that's the only one I'm doing. I'm not going to do it every time because it's very time consuming. As far like if the lore,
the biggest one.
Yeah. That's why I just did it for this one. Razadhan has a little bit too. Yeah.
More after the fact ones.
Yeah. Definitely more after the fact.
When you're done with all MSQ and crap,
Yeah,
they
for
have
sure.
to, like, feel. That was a little exposition.
Here. Yeah, I just did it for Charlene just because it's like this place is like a major thing. Razathan is kind of major, but not nearly as much as this place. Razathan is the Yulmore of this expansion. It
End game.
It's just your end game place. You go there for your tome gear. You go there for your tome gear, your weapon, all that kind of stuff. But story-wise and lore-wise and all that kind of stuff, you're pretty much here. So, Chocobo Keep. Might as well talk to this person. One of the things that Graha says, he's like, man, all the money I'm spending on teleportation stuff, it adds up after a while. Well, we're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for the group's descent. Right. Everyone onto the lift, down we go. What I think is funny is, who are we paying? Who are we paying to teleport ourselves? We just throw ourselves through an aetherite. Who are we giving money to?
I don't know. And how does it come out of, like you say, who are we giving it to? How does it come out of our pocket?
Right.
Like, do we just give it to a
This is what's his name though, right? This is Emmett Silk talking. I'm like fairly certain it's Emmett Silk.
Grows too high. Start a new one.
I can't hear it.
If no room remains, then make more rooms.
It's quite quiet on my stream.
Is it?
By bit, a profound transformation.
Oh yeah, it is. I have it turned up quite a bit though.
Knowledge buried beneath knowledge.
I literally have it turned all the way up now.
A labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Oh, I think I remember what happened. You had to turn the volume down because of the fact that your boots sounded for
Yeah.
days. Yeah, I still couldn't really hear him very well.
Yeah, I turned it up towards the end was the issue. I turned the volume down on other stuff though, not on the voice, I didn't think, but oh well.
I thought you had to go hard general on that one.
I might have. I'll have to double check it.
This general
Not what you
general audio
expected.
and
I must admit, the
I
artifice
guess
is
it
very
shouldn't affect
convincing.
voices, but
But I assure you that we are beneath Charlian itself. The
probably
breeze
would
you
be
feel,
Emmett Silk.
the flowing waters you
I mean,
hear, all created
know.
by the hand of man.
A lot of the Asians
The
would know
island is volcanic, you see.
what a lot of people
And
are
once
doing.
upon a time, this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400
Gosh, I
years ago,
remember.
at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility
For showing up
scrolls,
out here and you're like,
samples
oh
and such.
cool, I can just fall down
Renovations
this
have
cliff face
continued,
and be able to
and
get
nigh on
around.
no interruption
Right.
to this day.
That's what you
With
would
the lower
hope.
levels still
Invisible
undergoing
ball.
expansion.
Which is why flight becomes a
Aren't those people
big issue back
demons?
out here. Hey, it's Arnville! Oh.
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Uh-oh. Crowd's getting a migraine.
Did you
The
call
echo
to me
will do
just
that
now?
to you.
Did you call to me just now? I did not.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
At least I can mount out here. Speaking of sightseeing, look what I found. Path of Optimus. Where's the crystal from here? It's gotta be nearby. Yeah, it's all over there, man.
It's way over here. Don't worry about it.
Fucking yeet! No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they'll get you here. The story will get you here.
Let me think.
Actually,
The Rhea seed should be item 1058, human seeds 1059, snurlberry 1060, or were they 1061? My head feels like it's stuffed with mako grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Corinthian carrots for the Garabanian carrots? What then? The exchange with Eve has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. We'll talk to Aaron Bell in a minute. We'll do him last. We'll go talk to Dubbin! 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 Speak with me, Dubbin! You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books, and ore, and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos, and, so sort of tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, the mess gets dropped in our labs. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. Alright, now we talk to Aaron Bell. You're here to help or to give me more headaches, because you do not have the look of a gleaner, and I am in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Cryle. Any luck to gain thunder? What tales did the gleaners have to tell? So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I'm seeing. We were right. The Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, PK Thunder, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon the Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting.
So what I'm getting is they don't think we're charming enough.
Facts.
And it hurts my feelings.
Facts. You wish to help me find the marmots. I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. I'm like, of course! But of course! That's how I am offering. The name's Aaronvale, friend. Specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nagasing marmots is a trial I have no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at the present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so you will need to widen your search to the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Good luck preying on me, brusky. Because I have a chocoho! Anyway.
When he tells me that makes sense. I'm small.
I'm small.
And look like a snap.
I don't remember if I sent it to you, but it was a TikTok that I had watched, and it was talking about a website you can go to try out glamours. I don't know if I sent it to you or not, and I was thinking about it earlier because I was talking about I need a glam for PK. I need a really good one. I want a really good one. Like I have, you know, I mean, I can't look at it. Can't apply glamour plates here. Like I have the his good sir outfit basically. I have a couple other little things here and there, but none of them are really like, oh, this glam is freaking awesome type situation. You know, I just tried to fly.
Yep.
Oh lordy. But you know, and so it's just like, especially since I'm 159 to the northeast, huh? Let me find the mammoth that's over
Make
here.
you right to it.
Oh, will it?
Kind of. You just walk past. You're gonna try and catch it, and then on the last one, you'll go up a slope.
Oh, okay.
And then you just pass the mouse, he's hiding. You pass the mouse, there's gonna be like 2 trolls up there, you go to the end and you'll see it. It's up there.
Okay. The damn thing bolted.
How did you get past our security? It ran away. Son of a bitch!
Pretty much. What is that? Oh, glams. Yeah, but it's kind of cool because you can try on anything in there and kind of mix and match and things like that. So, just seems like.
Yeah, I've heard about it because there were some folks on me talking about something like that the other day.
Yeah.
Like a really, really useful thing.
Right. It's kind of like that other site that I had talked about before, and I think I posted it somewhere too. But it kind of gives you a rundown on how to play your class, and at like what levels and all that kind of stuff. The little bastard ran off again. But yeah, it might be something I have to look into so I can actually try things on and make it look however I want, because I want to get something halfway decent for PK to actually go through the story with and stuff, instead of just throwing whatever on him that's the best gear that he has, you know. Okay, so here's the 2 trolls you were talking about. 111 to the east. I have found it. Where's the mouse at, though?
As you're heading back, it should be tucked behind one of the rocks. It's still up there. Don't go down.
It's up here?
Yeah, it's along the edge of it's along the wall.
Oh, I see it.
There's a little bit of a rock. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Squeak, squeak. Finally caught the little bastard.
You owe me a new acorn.
I saw this TikTok of this gal that plays Final Fantasy, and she was drinking a voltage for the event. She's like, I envy the people who actually like Mountain Dew. She's like, because this is your event. She's like, I can't stand this stuff. She's like, and as she's drinking the voltage, she's like, this one's not bad. She's like, but you realize how long it took me to find this one? Because she's looking for the ones that give 200 points. And so luckily the flavor that I found is that Purple Thunder one, and it's exclusive to the Circle K gas stations, and we have 1 million of those out here. So I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking. I drove in, and they're like, oh, 2 for $4. I was like, I'm gonna buy 4.
You know what really sucks about it all, though? Is so they're like, yeah, you just buy the ones that are exclusive to places. We have nothing exclusive out here.
Right. And then somebody else, I saw a thing that somebody else posted too. They're like, man, if Baja was in this list, he's like, I would have so many points.
Yeah.
And then somebody was talking about the Butterfinger event. And they're like, yeah, but this event's a lot easier to claim your prize because unlike the Butterfinger event, you have to like send in a picture of your receipt and blah blah, like do all this nonsense. Whereas this, they're like, Mountain Dew already has a point website set up from a long time ago.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is just go in there and type in your codes.
Yeah.
How do you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Ah, there's the odd man out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage.
Yep.
Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tasked you to capture them in the first place? Why, the authority in charge of the Labyrinthos. Now in perpetuity, the same officials who have us working day and night of late, the honorable members of the Forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the 2 conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, PK Thunder. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I inquire the students of Baldessian. These others are my assistants. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we made the descent to Labyrinthos. We hoped that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical, never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls, another animal to capture, an enclosure to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer more for your services. Leave him be. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? Explains all he said to us. So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've learned thus far. We also discovered that when the operation was begun, the Forum contacted the Gleaners' guild ship and put their people to this great work for some 4 days ago after the Telophoroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but waiting for the right time to put it into effect. And the Telophoroi's declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archeon? From there, we can reach the lower... Cryo, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it, then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archeon. We follow the path east through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. talking to them, I am touching the crystal.
To be fair, I don't want to talk to them anyway.
So you wanna be a gillionaire? Alrighty, a gillionaire. Oh, well, never mind then.
Oh, really? I've already got money. What am I going to spend?
Behold, the Archeon. As Numenion serves as Charlene's library archive, so does the structure house the wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records for which to describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archeon contains the physical history of Charlene's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Deeper into the maze. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian.
I can't wait for the new skills, but I also really just do not want
I want them,
to do more MSQ.
but I don't want them.
I couldn't give a rat's fucking ass to do more MSQ. It's gonna be awful.
Yeah?
I'm excited to see. Yeah, I hate MSQ. I hate fetch quests, and I really do hate with a passion these escort quests.
Oh lord, these escort quests. Fetch quests, I mean, regardless of the game that you play, you're gonna have fetch quests. Yeah. That's the unfortunate side. No matter what game you play.
They're like, hey, go get this item. Okay, so I go and get that item, and then they show up there anywhere, and they're like, oh yeah, I just decided to come talk to you here.
It's like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just a glorified Moogle.
Fact.
Just a glorified male Moogle, and I cannot with these people. Like, especially in this one where they're like, yeah, we decided to split the MSQ, and they did it in the last one too. They're like, we decided to split the MSQ into 2 branches.
Yeah.
Which just drives me nuts, because I'm like, okay, so we split the group into 2, right? But I'm still there for both groups.
Right.
So, like, without me, both groups are fucking dumb.
Greetings, we are here to peruse the Archeon vaults.
Can't seem to do anything.
Peruse? You are clearly not gleaners then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldessian.
How are you?
But is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved with the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us then. I suppose we had better move along then to another facility. This building has a lift which connects the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? Negative. The service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after the restructuring operation is concluded. By that time, it will be too late, and we're so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for a moment, shall we? Students of Baldessian. We're at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to peruse this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by a heartfelt pleas. We must seek other means to access the lower levels. Can just yeet? It is likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to integrate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely some of them need a few strong backs to lighten the load. Bone-weary worker. What's that? You take you down the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading out the gate there, though, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever he's doing. This way. Amused student. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archeum. Even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but it was wandering around tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Squeal, squeal. Oddest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archeum is open again. We're gonna mount because it's faster. South. Where's this dude at? There he is. I was like, he's gotta be over here somewhere. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. How about I help? You wish to help me with this too. You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green, and its cry is a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with this sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Green feathers. Distinct caw noise. Caw. Caw. Probably that one right there. Nope, that's whack. Is it you then?
It's a big word. It's the big one flying behind the rock on the right side.
This one right here? Large green bird. Yep, cock. Okay, cool. I want to see if we can find our hornbill friend, though.
Probably not.
Probably
the
not.
Shoebill friend?
The shoebill friend, I mean.
He's from the other world.
Oh, that's true. He was from the first.
If he showed up here, that would be hilarious.
Bruh.
I would die. Dude, where
Well, I'm just double checking.
Where the actual... This is such a large search area. I have literally canvassed the internet.
I hate when they give us that big old search area.
Oh my fucking... I hate her. God, I can't stand these NPCs. They're playing hide and fucking seek. They're dumb. I fucking can't. Piss me off. I can't fly up there. Yeah. When you get to this quest, I'll literally tell you exactly where she is, because this is the dumbest fucking shit. She's all of 2 fucking feet standing on top of a plateau that's like 30 feet in the air. And you have to, oh my god. It's just another one of those instances where I'd give my left goddamn nut to be able to fucking fly. Because I'd be done. And they're like, well, we don't want you to fly so you can experience the area. I'm gonna torch the area. Labyrinthos is just gonna be a smoldering wasteland. Hey! Hey, you little ether fuck. What are you doing up here?
Any new revelations?
Oh, what pretty flowers. Let's burn them. Stupid bitch.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill?
Why did it teleport?
Yes, we captured a
I
hornbill.
understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally,
Graha,
we remove
I don't
specimens
want to
no
talk
longer
to you.
needed for study.
I still don't want to talk
Or
to you.
those
I'm
we've had
literally
difficult to
staring at
raise.
Ishtola's ass. I would like to talk to
We can't
Ishtola.
simply turn them loose.
Jesus.
Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is
Real
another
close to
facet
just
of
being
the
like,
cleanest
y'all gotta
duties.
Y'all got a story skip? Because I really
Not in this
don't
case, I'm
fucking
afraid.
want to have to walk with
I've
these
been asked to
assholes
bring
anymore.
the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
Charlene is migrating?
That's
Say
all it
what?
is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you'd do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Well, at least they give us a teleporter down there too, so we don't have to like do all this weird nonsense again. I was gonna say, yeah, isn't there 3 teleporters in Labyrinthos?
Well, like Alphanaud said, or whatever, when we talked to the
117
the
west.
guy that was
Oh, that's
supposed to
that
do
way.
the lift.
Yeah.
The guy that was supposed to do the lift lift. He's like, can we at least get to the middle ring rather than the lowest ring? And the guy's like, yeah, you can't go on any ring. So.
This must be at the entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slavering beasts aside, we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again on the other end of the tunnel. An aether current in here?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Probably. What the hell was that about?
What?
My cat just freaking jumped.
Oh.
Out of the blue. Decided she's gonna jump 2 feet in the air. I can't hear your attacks going off, but I can hear your boots stomping furiously. It's the dumbest thing ever.
I don't know
they
why,
really were like
in my headset I can't hear the boot steps, but on stream you can hear the boot steps. Like
that's all you can hear. Is your boots made for walking?
Yep, there's an aether current right there. It's on the path it didn't want you to take, basically, for MSQ. What's dumb too is pretty much after a Heavensward, they really want you to be able to fly, because that's why they make everything so big. But it's like, at the same time, they're like, yeah, but we also don't want you to zoom through MSQ, so we're gonna make you have to walk. For the first portion of MSQ.
And then for the subsequent portion of MSQ, it's just as convoluted.
Everyone seems to have made it through without incident, nothing of consequence at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us onto the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Ernvale's assumption holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Is that a Tis, level 90, fuck that, bye.
You can take.
I got this. No healer, no tank, I got this.
Yep.
At level 86.
Well, to be fair, you tried to take on like that level 71.
This is why I take toys away from you. You got it shredded all over the place. I just vacuumed. $266 north. Assuming it's up there somewhere. Maybe over there, I don't know. The polygonal grapes. This is supposed to be them. Aha, now I know where we are. This is Myria Argonomics. Labyrinthos is a host of a wide variety of vegetation which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed the Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable successes might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone know how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts yet. These workers seem to share the same sense of urgency. 'Tis possible they know something of the forum's plans and the underlying motivations worth looking into, wouldn't you say? Sure. See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. There's a fucking sightseeing log on top of that building. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors. Not with use of the lipping restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? There's a cave over there. A mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of our fields, but I'm afraid the forum has us filling order lists a mom long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of the grand reorganization, I assumed we were shuffling around old stock to make room for new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seed we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation, but was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. Damn it. I'm tearing that up. I'll take it away from you. It's already shredded all over the room. Stop it. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry, and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport, hence the stack of crates atop the hill over there. Gods, hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. One more person. Harried Harvester. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising, given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled, a region in the south of Ilsabard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad of flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transitions into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested as you might expect. Used to be called Corvos, before the Imperials renamed it Locus Ammonius. The forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments and cultivation. Ooh, so much.
I just witnessed the craziest shit.
Huh.
I saw a hunt train. I thought they were here for a fate. They were here for a hunt target. realize. And they just like mobbed up on some level 90 creature. So many people. So many people. And there were like 10 people dead at the end of it. But that poor creature did not stand a chance.
The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seed and saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports. Pretty flowers.
Oh, you found her?
Hard to look
Oh, it was
away,
pretty easy.
isn't it?
I just kind of went up the hill. Once you told me it was a hill, I just went up the hill.
Oh. Yeah. I literally thought she was going to be standing at like one of the lighthouses
But they're
or some
more
shit.
than pretty flowers.
I went all over that.
Heart
Why
blooms
it's
are
got to be like,
attuned
I don't
to
know, so
ambient
fucking
emotion.
big for searching for her is ridiculous.
Right. Well, and it kind of made sense. When you're talking to one of the guys, he's like, there's crates on top of the hill that we had to sit over there for aerial transport. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Gotta
See,
listen
I
to the
just
story.
You don't seem
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
But believe me.
Yeah, I hate it. I really do, honestly. It's just the fucking worst. Like I said, I can't wait to get into Endwalker, so I've got, or not Endwalker, but Dawn.
This ashen grey, for instance.
This
it
ashen grey,
mirrors
for
the
instance.
anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy. Dark, subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Have you learned aught of interest? A flower that reacts to one's feelings. Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we fail to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the arcade? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Cryo?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
I can almost reach you.
Bum, 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 bum. Is Carl still feeling well? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Erenville is headed westward along the path outside the Arcane. Come on, we can still catch him. East. So I missed one. There's one back behind us somewhere that I missed. Oh well. Yeah, it's over here somewhere. Right now. Because we can't just yeet down here, can we? No, we cannot. Where's the fucking teleporter for this place? Oh yeah, we can't get to it, huh? We have to wait a little bit. Still. Fucking right. Alright. My issue is that I have to get ready for work. So I was hoping I'd be able to get to the teleporter that's in the middle section before anything else, but... Oh, okay. I get you. Hold on a moment. I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logiscon Beta, one of the Labyrinth's climate control centers. It should have its own lifts, which one could access upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the Forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect him to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha had his vanish spell, we're here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Hippity hop, my little toads. Goodness.
Master Matoya, is that you?
Mm-hmm. Unaccustomed to transfiguration? Worry not, it'll wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erinvale. As you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I shall refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you were to learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where the creature's hereabouts in that form, you are essentially defenseless. You have changed into a toad, you must remain transfigured in order to progress with the quest objectives. You will return to your transfigured state if you move too far away. Look at your map for transfiguration area of effect. Speak with each soul to restore the prolong the transfiguration. Unfortunately, we're about to wear it off automatically because we need to hop off for now. It sucks because we're gonna have to walk all the way back down here later on, but it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I don't have time. I got a shower still and everything. So